Well, hi, friends. Yeah, Doc South here, and whew, busy day at home. Yes, I actually got a day off from work. I've heard of days off, and gotta say they're all they're cracked up to be. Not that it was a day where I lounged around, oh, maybe a little, but not much, and got a lot of the work that I had to do at home. Uh, get my the various checks you got to write throughout the month. I've got them written now ahead of time. Um, things like that. Did a couple of videos, doing one now with you, and there you are. Sandy, she was busy doing her thing, getting different antiques ready for sale at the Slatington Antique Center where she takes her stuff. And, all in all, in fact, I did a video on one of the items, some crazy piece of machinery. It's on my YouTube site. You can see it if you go. It's should be about two or three down from the top row. It's on my Facebook page too. But pretty neat, pretty neat piece of equipment, whatever the heck it was. Something from an old factory. I'm assuming a textile factory, but maybe not. But that's beyond the point. I was I suggested to Sandy that we today that we, but it didn't happen. I said, I got those tickets for the movies uh, for for us, and I said sooner or later I think they expire. If you would, I'd love to go to the movies with you, and we can enjoy a cool movie, and there you go. And and I'm hoping that we get to do that before the darn things expire because they weren't cheap. It kills me. Uh, I think it was $25 each. Now that included, I think that included popcorn and all. I'm almost certain. Boy, I don't know, but an astronomical amount compared to what movies were when I was younger. Oh my God. I remember everybody having a cow when movies went up to $1. Yes, I do. Yeah, and that was, I think, in the '60s, late '60s. $1. There'd be picket signs up. Oh, it was the '60s. Everybody would be protesting. Um, and when I was a kid, I do remember Granddad giving me to go to the movies. I'd get I think it was a quarter and maybe 15 cents. So it was something like 40 cents. And that was enough to get popcorn, a soda, the movie, and in fact, a double feature with a few features in between, short movies in between. And I'd be in the theater from like 11 o'clock in the morning till maybe 4:30 that afternoon. You come out of the place, the light would blind you, the daylight. But yeah, movies have really, really gotten kind of dear. And you know something? The old movies were just fine as far as I was concerned. Gosh, they were great movies. And it's what you do is you just get yourself lost in the story, and who cares about the necessarily the quality of it all? It's yeah, it was. I don't know. I just I've always dug movies, but they are rather dear nowadays. Oh my God! But it's so hopefully we'll get there before they yeah, pull the plug on the tickets on us. But they're and there's, like I said, gobs of great movies, but there always has been. I have no problem with watching silent films from the '20s. There's some really good ones. And yeah, the nice thing is when you're dealing with those really older movies, it's like being, besides seeing a movie, you're like in this big antique shop. There's all these antiques that you can look at. The old trains and the old cars and the trolley cars and how people dressed. And I don't know, I find that a great, what would you call it, a foray into the past, and rather cool. And, those movies were considered top of the line back in the day. Probably cost a dime to get in, maybe a nickel. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they have gone up in price. But yeah. Anyway, I guess one day soon soon as we do go to the movies, I'll have to report back and uh, tell you how everything went. Was it all we hoped it would be for the money involved? But I I'm perfectly happy to go. I guess it just gotta. Uh, it does seem like though you got to really come out with the bucks for to go to one nowadays. That's kind of whoosh. But then again, back when movies were $1, I was probably making uh, maybe a little more than $1 an hour in a factory. So I guess it's really hasn't much. You still burn the same amount of calories working either to see a movie now or have seen a movie back in those days. So what are you going to do, right? Ay. It's funny how the inflation just you never see anything go down, do you? It's always yep, always up just a little more. Well, that's how it goes. I'll see you later. At least this video was free for you. Okay, yeah, so keep that in mind. And I'll see you later. God bless. Bye now. And go see a movie for crying out loud.